Hey everybody, Sean Forney here. It's been a while since I've made some videos, with the exception of a couple of exhaust videos here and there. But I figured, what a better way to come back to making videos for YouTube, car videos mostly, than with my final thoughts on the day that I'm going to trade in my beloved 2018 Ford F-150 Raptor. And if you go back and watch my first couple videos and initial thoughts on it, you'll see it's a fully loaded lead-foot gray Raptor. It even has the graphics on the hood and on the back, which at first I wasn't a big fan of. I was actually going to remove them, but they grew on me. So here we are almost 4 years later with 52,188 miles on it. And I'm here to tell you that this is one of my favorite trucks, if not the most favorite truck that I've ever owned. Now that's a very, very bold statement from someone like myself that has owned a tuned 6.4, big old F-250, one F-350 Platinum turbo diesel 6.7, a trimmer, and a F-250 Platinum turbo diesel. I've had F-150 Platinums, I've had King Ranches, I've had the old square bodies, one with the big old inline 6-cylinder 4-speed. I've had the old square bodies with the 5.0, and this is my favorite truck out of all of them. So I've also had some Dodges in there, and quite as of recently, 2 weeks ago, I was able to pick up a Dodge Ram TRX at sticker, of course, because I'm not willing to pay a dealer over sticker for any vehicle. I will be patient and I will wait it out. So that being said, when the new Raptor R comes out, for any dealer out there that watches it, if you're willing to sell me one at sticker, I will plug your dealership and I will buy one. I will order them as soon as they're available to order, because I don't want to miss this Raptor for too long. So you're probably wondering, Sean, if you love this truck so much, why are you getting rid of it? Well, the good Lord is blessing my family with another beautiful child that's due in December. So this is no longer my daily driver, but it's my wife, and my wife has refused to get a third row vehicle for a very long time. We did go last year, we did wind up having a Ford Explorer ST that wound up being a lemon, and Ford bought it back off of us. Then we got a Trackhawk, which was great, but just not practical. So whenever they came out with a Hellcat and the TRX, I said, you know what, I can justify that. It's pretty practical. I have a bed on it. I can pull my trailer around with it. So we bought one. So now that we're having a fourth child, we need something with a third row. We're not minivan people. My wife says no to minivans. My kids don't like minivans, and I most definitely don't like minivans unless it's some, tuner-based, Honda Odyssey that's slammed on the ground on bags with some like slipstreams or something on it. But it's besides the point. We're not minivan people, so we're never going to own one. We are picking up, I'm actually on the way right now to Charleston, West Virginia, to pick up a 2021 Yukon Denali with the Denali Ultimate package, so my kids will have the screens in the back and all that good stuff. So that being said, let me tell you about everything that I've loved. I'll first start by saying, in the 52,000 miles of ownership so far on the Raptor, we've had one reason that it was at the service, at the dealer for service, and that was the pretty, I'm not going to say it's super common, but it's common enough that Ford has a fix for it. We had the cam phaser issue. I think it was about 18,000 miles. Ford fixed it. They had it for like 3 days. We got it back. Knock on the dash. We haven't had any problems with this thing ever since. I was a little disappointed, and probably it was my driving style, but I did have to replace the tires, and I bought the factory Bridgestones, I believe, whatever they are, at like, I think it was right around 24,000 miles. Now, since my wife has been daily driving it, we haven't had to replace it. She's had them for like 15,000 miles, and they still almost look brand new. So that goes back to, it's just my driving style, my driving habits. Tires don't last me a long time. They last my wife forever, apparently. We haven't even had to replace the brakes on this thing. We've just changed the oil, done the recommended maintenance, and that's been about it. Other than that, this thing has been a phenomenal truck to own. I can't say that about many vehicles that I've owned. Our Explorer ST was in the shop for at least 3 weeks before Ford finally bought it back off of us, and we were like, oh, thank goodness. So, that being said, what all have we done with it? Well, we've used it like a Raptor. I can fly around our farm at 30 miles, 40 miles an hour through a hayfield. This thing doesn't bat an eye. I've driven it as a daily driver. It's done great. Like right now I'm getting 17.3 miles per gallon. Most of that is because of my wife, because she's such a great driver and she's easy on stuff. But even when I dailied it, I got like 15.8 miles per gallon. I've towed things as heavy as right at the limit of 8,000 pounds, maybe a couple hundred pounds over. This thing has done great. The trailer system, the braking system is phenomenal for it. I've used the descent control whenever I'm going down steep hills. It's great. Everything about this truck is great. You know, my only complaint is that it's now 2021, it's 2018. We bought it in 2017. Technology has came a long way, as you can see with the new F-150 and their infotainment system. As soon as the Raptor R comes out, I will be very, very much excited to get that new sync system that is in there with the big screen, as I'm sure it's going to have on it. But again, this truck has been, for the most part, maintenance free. It's the best truck I've ever owned, and I just have nothing but great things to say about it. Overall, the drivability has not changed. A couple rattles here and there, maybe, now that it has 50,000 miles, but in the big grand scheme of things, that's what you're going to expect from any vehicle that you own after you put a ton of miles on it and necessarily hasn't lived the easiest of lives. You know, we've used it like a truck. We use the bed a lot. We're constantly doing stuff on the farm, constantly driving it through the fields. I was just driving it through the field last night. We got home and it was raining. We had to put our chickens in, so just driving down through the field. This thing's great. It's hauled goats in it. It's hauled goats in the back seat, I think. So that being said, I'll give you some reasons why you should buy a Raptor if you're remotely on the fence about it. So whenever I purchased this truck, the sticker, I got it for sticker, was $71,000. So that's a lot of money for a truck. It's a lot of money for any vehicle, right? Well, flash forward almost 4 years later, 52,000 miles, the dealer today has given us $60,000 as a trade-in. We were offered $65,000 on a trade-in from another dealer that they just didn't have the color that we liked. Think about that. If we were to trade it in for $65,000, or even at $60,000, the depreciation on these Raptors is very, very minimal to that of other vehicles. I mean, I will go on a limb and say, outside of your Porsche GT cars or your high-end exotics that really don't depreciate, the Ford Raptor may be one of the best depreciation vehicles that you can buy. They're phenomenal. It's great. And I'm so happy that now that we're trading it in, we've driven it for so long and we're still going to get $60,000 out of it today. That's great. You know, it's almost paid off, so that's just equity we're going to roll into the new vehicle. You know, and that was what I thought was going to happen whenever I bought this. I followed the first gen Raptors very, very closely, and I saw those things were holding their values very, very well, and they are still holding their values very, very well. Heck, a low mileage one you might see for $50,000. Okay, now some of the Gen 1 Raptor fanboys might get mad at me for making this comment, but this EcoBoost engine is better than either of the other two V8s that were offered in the first gen. I know. It sounds like a lawnmower, whatever you say, I don't care. All around performance is better. The tunability of them is better. You can get an access port and get 500 plus horsepower out of these things fairly easy. Everything's better with it. The low end torque for towing the trailers there. Ford very much vetted this engine before they rolled it out with their stress tests. My goodness, they even put it in the Ford GT now. So, that being said, you know, I love the gurgly V8s. If you look at my other videos, you'll see that most of them are exhaust clips of some of my other cars that have the big old V8s in them. But I'm also here to tell you that I love the 3.5 EcoBoost platform. It's been great for Ford. It was probably one of the smartest things they've done in the modern era as far as the user friendliness of, you know, cross applications putting it in the cars, putting it in the Explorers, putting it in the trucks. They put it in everything, and it's in the Expedition, for crying out loud. It's in the Ford GT. This is a very, very well-proven engine. I'm not going to go as far as to say it's as good as the original inline six 4.0 by Jeep, but this is up there. Mainly, I'm not going to say that is because, you know, it is turboed. You do have some issues over time, whereas the old naturally aspirated inline 4-liter from Jeep was just one of the best engines ever made, hands down. You can argue with me if you like, but you know I'm right. So, that being said, my final thoughts are this is a very, very sad day for us as we get rid of our Raptor, but we're also very happy because we're welcoming to the world our 4th child in December. So we're super excited about that. And again, it's a car. I never fall in love with vehicles, but with this one, it was very, very close. I would say we were dating for the past 3.5 years. My wife did fall in love with it. I thought she was going to leave me for my Raptor at one point, but I was able to talk her into trading in the Raptor and getting a third-row vehicle, more room for the kids. That way we don't have to, you know, they're not right in the back seat. So I appreciate you guys taking a few minutes to watch this video. If you have any questions or comments about my final thoughts on the Raptor, drop them below. Please like and subscribe to my channels because I'm going to be doing some videos soon. I picked up a Porsche GT4 this November. Haven't driven it much, but now that the summer's here, the weather's cooperating, I want to do a review on that. I'm going to do a initial thoughts video on the TRX. And I will go into greater detail comparing the two trucks after I get some more seat time in the TRX. But you may be surprised to know that despite the lack of power compared to the TRX, I will say, and maybe it's because I've put 35 or 40,000 miles on this. My wife has put the rest, but the Raptor is all around, to me, a better driving truck than the TRX. But what the TRX lacks in the drivability, it picks up with the power with almost 250 or so more horsepower. And plus those little Easter eggs that are on the new TRX with the TRX eating, or the T-Rex rather, eating the Raptor. You gotta admit, that's awesome. And I certainly hope that Ford paid attention to their slick marketing that Ram has done on the TRX. And I certainly hope, fingers crossed, that Ford takes some shots at TRX whenever they beat the TRX with the new Raptor R that they come out with. But again, in the meantime, like, subscribe. Also, please, if you would do my kids a favor, go watch their video, like and subscribe their videos. The channel is Scott Hen Sky, and they are my 3 daughters that are making videos of the everyday farm life and what it's like to have a bunch of like a petting zoo at your house, and being raised like that. So thank you all so much for taking the opportunity to review this video. If you have any questions, again, comment below. Everybody have a great day. Watch my videos, and we'll talk soon.